Hello there, my name is Tom and this is my first ever massive tutorial, or tutorial in general actually. So we're going to be making this sound here, that's the note chord. As you can hear, it's a pretty basic sound. It's quite popular in like film score and some kind of deeper house stuff at the moment, but nothing too complicated. I did put in like a high pass thing, kind of richer. But for this song I decided against it. But if you want it, there it is. And that came with a little bit crusher as well. So I will start up a new patch. If you're not interested in hearing the kind of explanation behind why I've done what I've done, then there should be some buttons, some annotations for you to just jump to each section of the synth, so you can just copy the settings. So here we've got our default massive patch. Yep, pretty standard. So I'll get started with the oscillators. The oscillators is always the best place to start because it's definitely the thing that has the most impact on the sound, and it's just sort of like, I don't know, when you decide the characteristics of the sound. So starting off with this first oscillator, I put it to a saw wave, and then on the bend minus dial, put it about here. For kind of pad sounds, saw waves are amazing. Like, they are really kind of thick. They offer a lot of harmonics in the high end, and they worked really well detuned. And actually, there's a little bit of detune on this one. About 8 synths. There we go. And detune is also really nice, not just for thickening up, but also it kind of creates a nice motion when you've got a non-detuned wave against a detuned wave. You get this kind of swirl, which is really nice for pads and a lot of other sounds. But keeping with this focus, onto the second oscillator, we'll use an additive 1 wave, and we'll set the wave table to about here. Set the amplitude up to here. So this additive wave, not massive, to be honest. This was kind of more for when I was designing the high end of the synth, but it's something good to have in there anyway. Right. So we'll leave the LFOs now. Sine square wave here, set to a square, and an amplitude of about this much. So square wave for this, kind of, I just love square waves, to be honest. No real backing behind them. I think they sound quite nice in the low ends, but yeah, no real reason for a square wave other than I just end up using them a lot. So we'll move on to the filtering really quick. So as I showed before, I did use a high pass here, but we'll leave that for now. Move on to this low pass, we'll set the cutoff to about here, and the resonance will actually randomize. So just about this much, and this is nice. I like random settings. You don't want the same kind of resonance bleeding throughout the sound, but having this random resonance kind of gives you these peaks and troughs of intensity to the sound, which is nice. So obviously quite a low cutoff here, not a lot of high end to this sound, but I did use an LFO to just sort of create a swirling motion and add a little bit of high end here. So I set that like this, and the LFO settings for the first curve, we've got full 3. So this is very much a kind of dropping down motion, and just a little bit of X fade here, just to make this a bit more intense around this drop. The rate, just pull back a little bit, and the amplitude is about half. So I didn't sync these or restart these or anything. I like the kind of fluid motion, although to be honest, this is kind of a synth that you're not really pressing loads of keys on, so this isn't a huge deal. So yeah, LFO 5 also controls the wavetable position of this oscillator, about this much, and also the amplitude of this oscillator, about this much. So I forgot the modulation oscillator, we'll do that. That is detuned an octave. And the ring modulation setting looks like this on this oscillator, second oscillator. And bear with me a second. The phase is applied to oscillator 3 and is about this much. So next up, there is a little bit of white noise here. This is something I kind of experimented with. It's not really that massive. I said it's bright. And initially I had it running on an envelope, but that didn't work very well. It kind of wasn't that much of a deal. Which is to say, like, it didn't have much of a presence. But what I did end up doing was using LFO on this amplitude dial here, just to have it kind of come in and out, and a random amount of color just to kind of change how bright it was. LFO 6 setting, you've got a bending 5 curve, because bending curves are awesome, and the rate is pulled back just a little bit, and the amplitude is just under half. And I mean, nothing much to really say about that. It's pretty standard. Moving over, I did a little bit of randomizing of the pan. This is a really nice thing. I do this on a lot of synths. Having a sound that kind of moves across the stereo spectrum is just a really nice effect. And yeah, using the randomizer tool for it is pretty much the ideal way of doing it, unless you've got a better plugin for it. But that's how I've done it here. Obviously, we just want filter 2, and I'll just turn that down for completion's sake. I think that's pretty much it, apart from the effects section. So we've got the delay synced. Set this to just under half, and these feedback settings are fine. For the second effect, I've gone for a bit of reverb. This is something with reverb, like, I really like the massive reverb, but I would say kind of keep conscious of your project. So in this project, I've not used a lot of reverb yet. I mean, that's very early days of the project, but if you're going to use reverb through massive, then just be kind of conscious of like what your mix sounds like. So if you've got a massive reverb going on and then you use another reverb unit, then it's kind of like you've got these two sounds which sound like they're in completely different spaces, which is quite a weird thing to have in a mix. So do watch out for that. And I've actually used LFO 6 on the dry wet knob here just to kind of change the dry wet a little bit. I mean, moving reverbs is kind of cool, but again, not something I've synced across the project, so watch out for that. So that's pretty much it. This should be sent all the way over here, but that doesn't really matter. And there's a little bit of feedback, which doesn't make a huge difference. So I think that's pretty much it. Oh, the envelope, obviously, very important part. As you could probably already tell, there's a lot of attack. This is pretty essential for a pad sound. So you can see I've almost maxed out the attack value on this, and the decay is full, and the level doesn't actually matter too much, but I think I ended up trying to modulate this. If you want to pull back the decay, then this will make a difference, but yeah. And then the release is about halfway across, so it's nice to have a good release in the sound. Just kind of matches the attack. So if a sound takes a while to kind of peak, then having it just die away instantly is very strange. So let's just listen back to this. And there you go, we're pretty much done. So I realise I ummed and erred a lot. There's another one. But I think this was, brief enough. Let me know any feedback. I'm sure I'll do another one of these because I love the sound of my own voice. Thanks for watching, I guess.